Well, in tonight's feature interview, our reporter Chelsea Daniels speaks with Canterbury Police about elder abuse in this city and how ageing citizens can prevent others taking advantage of them.
So the topic of discussion today is elder abuse. What exactly is that?
Elder abuse is when, I suppose, an older person's targeted and has things like, I suppose it can be violence, physical violence, verbal threats. It's also when someone's takes control of their finances without their consent. It's also controlling their lives. It can be even to the point where they can be locked in a room and not given access to their own freedoms and things like that. So it can be quite a raft of stuff. But it's basically I suppose it's that abuse, they're abusing their rights. Yeah.
And I believe there's some scams that are happening to our elders. Can you explain a little bit about that?
It was quite insidious in nature, and the motivated offender, they will approach an elderly couple or a person on their own, come to the address. This is one of the scams that I've been dealing with, and being appearing quite legitimate and wanting to do work around the house. They will do that work, and the elderly couple or the person on their own will pay them, and then maybe that next time they come in, they've got the trust, you see, so they enter the property, get the lay of the land of the inside of the property, and there is a situation at the moment, a man at the moment in prison for doing this sort of nature of offending, and he used to wash the windows of the outside of the house and then come back, say, in a month and get trust and then enter the inside of the house and then take small items like medication, wallets, cash, and sometimes the elderly may not know that's happened straight away, so he may come back again and try again.
So really, because our elderly are so generous, that's why people are taking advantage of them.
The thing too is I suppose we have to be stressed. It's not just the elderly, but as you mentioned, the elderly are getting targeted for that very reason, that they can be sometimes isolated. In another case that we've been dealing with, this gentleman is pretty much on his own, doesn't have a lot of family, if any family contact from what I understand. So they are also looking for companionship, and if someone comes into their lives with showing a bit of interest, they'll accept them. Unfortunately, some of these people are very good at identifying those people and moving in, and then once they've got the foot in the door, so to speak, they are taking advantage.
How do we as a community stop this from happening?
One thing is to really get to know your neighbours in your area. Neighbourhood support's a really good way. It doesn't have to be a real formal thing, but it can be just knowing your neighbours, waving out, saying g'day. We've found that some of these situations we've found out via the neighbourhood telling us. So it's not always the person that's the target, the victim. They don't tell us, but we might find out from the neighbour. We would rather that the victim would let us know straight away. However, it doesn't always happen that way. And this isn't. It's not. I don't want to stereotype the elderly, because I'm not, and we're not saying that elderly. What would it be? Naive, but they tend not to reach out sometimes to the police. They don't want to make a fuss, we've found. So we do find out from neighbours. So if that's the way we find out, at least we're finding out. But we would really like people that are targeted to let us know straight away. Yeah. Another
good thing to do is like I said, some of these scams, their way in is offering some sort of service. It's I'll help you with your shopping, or I'll help you clean your windows or trim your bushes. That's all good and well, but there are very good agencies out there will do that, reputable ones. So what we're suggesting is, they do need some work done, find a reputable business, but a really good way of doing it is going through Age Concern. Now, Age Concern obviously will link anyone with any service that they need. The good thing about going through Age Concern is that all the services and businesses and agencies they deal with are all police checked, and they have referees that support their type of business or their work, so that they are reputable people.
So is this a prominent thing in Canterbury?
It's probably like a lot of crimes, and if we use, say, family violence for an example, a lot of it's not reported, or there's an unreported element to it. So we can only deal with, and we only know of what's either reported to us or we come across it. So it's difficult for us to probably say, put a figure on it and say this is how much it's an epidemic or not. We're aware of it does happen, and and we just don't want anyone to get obviously targeted. The thing is, and these people are in the later years of their life, and some of them have worked hard all their lives, and they're retiring, and they just want a comfortable, and then someone's ripping them off, taking all their money out of their bank account, and it's really that's for them. That's the end of their lives. They just can't really sort of have a nice sort of lifestyle anymore. It's the effect that these people are having on them are tremendous.